Well, hello and welcome everybody to today's exciting special webinar event, Modern Infrastructure to Execute Your Data First Vision. Today's exciting webinar is sponsored by Hewlett Packard Enterprise and KIOXIA and produced by Actual Tech Media. My name is Mackenzie Puddesy with Actual Tech Media, and I'm excited to be your moderator for this conversation today. We all know your data landscape is changing and the role of storage has evolved. So it is time for a different approach. Hewlett Packard Enterprise and KIOXIA are delivering the power of one unified architecture to quickly and securely deliver your data requirements via one common disaggregated platform. Today, you'll learn how extensive scalability, exceptional ease of management, and high-speed performance will accelerate your data-intensive workloads and enhance operational efficiency. Well, likely that is why you are here, and luckily we're going to hear from some top experts in the field who are going to provide the information you are seeking. It's going to be such a cool conversation, and I cannot wait to get started. So let's zip through the housekeeping, and then we'll get things on our way. First, I want to draw your attention to your audience console in the questions tab. Now, of course, it's the best place to get involved, get interactive, and post all of your insightful questions, comments, feedback, and ideas. And we do want to hear from you. So why don't you find that questions tab now? And let's start out by saying hi, hello, bonjour, hola, aloha, or give any sort of greeting alike to the community that is here with you today. As a quick side note, that window is also the best place to reach out and let us know if you have any technical issues during the session. Knock on wood, of course, we hope that does not happen. But don't forget that a quick browser refresh should get rid of the usual tech gremlins. But if not, just shoot a message in that questions tab, and the Actual Tech team and myself will be there to help. And the last thing I want to point out on your audience console is the handouts tab. You can go check out some really cool resources and follow-ups to our conversation today because it is just packed with great info. So definitely check that out. And you're going to look at this buffet of resources from Hewlett Packard Enterprise and KIOXIA today. In there, you've got a technical white paper. It is entitled HP GreenLake for File Storage Architecture. And it's a link to the white paper in PDF, so you can view it online, or you can download it for safekeeping. There's also a data sheet in there, HP GreenLake for File Storage MP. And finally, a couple of videos in there with a demo and a technical demo for HPE GreenLake. So you do not want to sleep on that excellent content. And if that cool content wasn't enough of a sweet giveaway, we also have a $250 Amazon gift card up for grabs today as a prize drawing at the end of our webinar. Of course, you must be here in attendance during the live event to win and qualify for the prize, and all winners must meet the Actual Tech Media prize terms and conditions. So if you're not sure what those are and you want to check that out, you can find those full T's and C's also in the handouts tab. Additionally, there is a $50 Amazon gift card up for grabs for the best question asked in today's session. So if you're curious, this is a day where it might be your lucky day. You get paid to be curious, which I think is awesome. Again, one of the best things about these webinars is being able to voice our questions and pick the brains of these industry experts. So take advantage of that and throw in some interesting and exciteful questions today. Okie dokie. Well, I believe that is it for our housekeeping, and we are ready to get this show on the road. I'm very excited to have our two presenters here with us today. First and foremost, we have Derek Wright, who is the North America Category Manager for Hewlett Packard Enterprise. And we've also got Tyler Nelson. He is the Director of KIOXIA Innovation Lab and Technical Marketing Team over at KIOXIA. So let's get these two on stage with me, shall we? And here to tee things off is Derek. Derek, I'm going to kick things over to you.
Great. Thank you. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, yes, you're sounding good.
All right, great. So again, my name is Derek Wright, and I am the North America Solutions Business Manager or Category Manager for our GreenLake for File or our unstructured data solutions, which comprises of our GreenLake for File and our Electra 4K service storage service. Sorry. And we are not advancing this one to let you know. Oh, great, thank you. Yeah, so I'm responsible for our Electro 4K and our GreenLake for file-based solutions. So quickly today, I just want to go through what GreenLake for File is, how we envision it in the industry, and how we partner with KIOXIA. So with that, I'll take a step and start moving forward. Uh, what we're looking at, we're in a space of digital transformation, and we believe that that's essential for your success in AI. And the way we believe you achieve that success is taking a data first mentality towards modernization of your environment. That's what makes it possible for you to really traverse this journey towards AI. Now, we also know that the role of storage in your environments has evolved over the past 10, 20 years. And if you take a look at where we were in 2010, 2005, 2010, even 2015, we looked at data as a repository of value, right? The value was the fact that we looked at it early on, we utilized it, we stored it, we hugged it, right? We backed it up, we cared for it. We wanted to make sure that that data was secure and available when we needed it. But as we move towards 2020, right, storage comes alive, as we say, right? And now that storage is the creator of value. So previously, just storing the data was the value of our storage infrastructure. But now we want to get some insights. We want to gain insights from that data in aggregate, right? So now everything was point data. I utilize data, you utilize data, my teammates utilize data, and those were our pieces of data for our use. Now we want to aggregate that data, do some analysis on it, and come out with some outcomes, right? That's where the value is, aggregating that data. So how do we do that? First, we've taken a one architecture approach, and that's our electric storage MP, and that is a disaggregate hardware platform that supports our block, file, and object interfaces. I can individually scale any of the components of the solution, and I have a common cloud-based software management platform that I can utilize and get access to my data services. And why did we do this? We realize, and I'm sure many of you have as well, realize that there's storage challenges out there as we move towards AI solutions. Again, we know that there's performance at scale, right? There's limitations in performance of the legacy-based systems that are out there. There's complex management, right? A lot of point management solutions, and then you try to cobble together some sort of front end to make them look like they're cloud-based or it's one pane of glass. But you still have to do some things in the background. And then low efficiency, right, and low return on investment. And the biggest thing there as we're moving forward is the inability to span across all of the stages of AI, right? There's multiple stages. And today, traditionally, most customers and most implementations have different storage solutions to satisfy different stages of AI implementation. And what we're looking to do is eliminate that, right? Have one common platform to give you the capability to span all of the stages and perform and manage it across all stages of your AI implementation. Now, it's not just us saying this, it's also IDT saying that 60 to 80% of all AI projects fail. And a large part of that is because of the lack of scalability of their existing storage infrastructures. 80% of companies plan to upgrade that storage infrastructure to support better AI workloads. But the interesting thing is 72% of those companies also use their AI storage for other workloads as well. And if you're using some legacy-based solutions, you're definitely not going to get the value out of those solutions. So, a new approach is needed. Also, 76% of our customers out there can't keep pace with the demands of data. And also that includes the IT and also includes business teams around that. We also see rapid growth. Now, back up to 2023, and I'm sure that it's grown. We're making in aggregate 3.5 exabytes of data per day. So that is a lot. How do we store that? How do we manage that, right? it's becoming, really the scale pieces of this is really becoming unmanageable. And then escalating complexity, right? Hybrid data stores, access and management challenges are really also slowing down our ability to change our environments. So we're taking a different approach. We want to make sure we take a transformative approach to performance. We want to access all of our unstructured data, right, efficiently at scale. We want to simplify our management, right? We want to give you that cloud experience, both on-prem and in the cloud. And we want to be able to intelligently monitor and manage those globally, right, with a globalized namespace. I really like this view of it because it really puts it in the proper perspective for me, is looking at our data and where it is. And if you remember back that slide I had a couple of slides ago, right? What are we doing from previous times to now with that data? So if you look at transaction processing, right, the value of that data is in a single event. After we transact that data, we store it, right? It's stored, we back it up, and we only need it, if we have some sort of, catastrophic event. But now, as I said earlier, the value of that same data is an aggregate, right? So the value of the data goes up as the age extends out versus the value of the data is instantaneous. And as it goes out, as it ages, the value of that data goes down. So we have to definitely take a different approach. We still need, there's still requirements for both types of data, but we haven't had to manage data in aggregate and action on that data as we have in the past, as we do today. And that brings us to GreenLake for File. This is our solution for attacking those issues. You're getting enterprise performance at scale, simplicity at scale, and enhanced efficiency. We've seen 2x throughput improvements, 4x capacity density. So again, I'm getting 4x within that same rack space, and I'm utilizing half the power. Again, as I said earlier, you'll hear me say it a couple of times, in a disaggregate environment. If I need to scale up and I need more compute resources to transact and manage my data, no problem. I can scale up that compute environment. If I need to provide more capacity, and I'm fine on my compute, no problem. I can go ahead and expand my storage nodes, right, to meet those requirements. I don't have to do them in simultaneously, and that's very good for you as far as scaling and managing those environments. We also partner with NVIDIA, as I'm sure everyone has to in the AI space, but we have certifications for DGX pod base. There's their reference architecture. We have certification there and validation for OVX. So we are lockstep with NVIDIA and how they're moving forward, as they roll out their new features and functions in this AI space. So how do we achieve that performance at scale? All NVMe, where we have that scale, as I talked about before, that disaggregate backend gives us the ability to scale and satisfy large data sets. And again, we have consolidation and reduction of data silos, right? Get rid of those data silos where I have different types of storage solution managing different types of data. I can put all of it in and truly manage my unstructured data the way we should. And what does it look like? Traditionally, we have all come from a shared nothing architecture background, right? So we've got a lot of crosstalk, we've got rebuilds, right? We've got a lot of overhead there. When I move to a disaggregate environment, one of the great things is there's a stateless compute environment, right? So I don't have to worry about managing state in those compute. If one goes down, no problem. I still operate in an N-1 environment. No controller contention, right? And no rebuilds should we have a compute or storage failure. So again, moving from a shared nothing environment to a share everything cluster architecture really changes the game for us as we move forward. And also, be remiss not to not talk about a global namespace, right? So I give the capability to access my entire environment from one namespace. Again, that's great, right? And the hardware and that back end is great. But what we really need to make sure we understand is how we're managing that, right? Lifecycle management, non-disruptive upgrades, unified storage management, and built-in hybrid cloud backup, right? For disaster recovery, all from one pane. And again, that not only extends out, manages our GreenLake for file, but it also extends out to our block solutions and object solutions as well. So when you're looking at, how we're getting to our success points with AI, right? We're trying to provide more value for all of your data. We're trying to increase your productivity, right, for your data scientists and your lot of business app owners. And again, providing, as you said in our earlier slide, an increased ROI from those capital investments, right? So we know that traditionally, when I'm moving, in those older storage environments have their uses, but as we're moving towards an AI environment, we need to make sure that ROI, that the high ROI that you had for the solutions for those specific use cases transfer when you're moving to a more complex use case with AI. So how do we accelerate these outcomes from you, right? 2x throughput, 2x performance density. What that means, as I said earlier, right, I have more throughput and more density in one floor tile, hundreds of gigabytes of throughput, 4x density capacity, and also data reduction, right? And and this is how we get to those points, right? 20-1 for backups, 8-1 for trading data, right? 4-1 for our log stores, right? 3.5 for the use cases like Splunk. So again, we're getting superior data reduction, giving you the savings, both in capacity and power and availability. What are those? We have a number of targeted use cases. These are not all encompassing, but these are some of the ones that we focus on. And again, as I said numerous times today, AI, large data lakes, HPC, high performance compute, media entertainment, right? Our movies that we love to stream, life sciences, and again, financial services, right? These guys are the ones, and for those of you that are out there, all right, know that you have to save that data over time, and you need to access it to get to try to predict how much money I'm going to lose in the market. So again, great use cases, specific for these environments. Again, there are other point solutions out there, but again, when you're looking at in aggregate for these use cases, GreenLake for File is an absolutely great solution for you guys to take a look at. Now, when we look at speed and scale, and marrying that up with simplicity, we're used to two different types of storage. We have our NAS on the left side and parallel file systems. So we've got simplicity on the left, we've got complexity on the right. So with that simplicity, I'm going to have some issues with regard to performance. And when I get that performance and that scale on the right side there, what's going to happen, right? I'm going to have some issues with regard to complexity. But GreenLake for File aims to solve both of that and kind of go straight through the middle there and give you both the simplicity to manage that environment and the speed and scale that you require. So when we're looking at marrying and mapping our ROI out there to our competitors, right? All data is shared, right? And that's a huge point, as we talked about DASI, right? Disaggregated shared everything architecture, right? So I can scale things, scale my components individually to address where my performance issues are. Exabyte levels of scale, right? I can get you the amount of storage that you need in one environment. low overhead, right? So, hey, I can give you this throughput, but as I'm looking at these services, right, what is the overhead of those services doing to my environment? And again, as I said earlier, asymmetric scaling. Uh, Data services, right? It's inline data duplication, and again, flexible upgrades, right? I don't have to take any part of the system down to upgrade either the hardware or the operating environment. So with that, I want to encourage you, and I provided some links as well, to take a demo, reach out to us. Take a look at GreenLake for File. I think you like what you see. And if you need additional information, please reach out to us. We will be happy to answer any questions you have. And with that, I want to turn it over to my good buddy Tyler to talk to you about KIOXIA and how they integrate in our environment and provide that superior scale and performance.
Thank you, Derek. Appreciate that. It's always good to hear about the different solutions that are available today, and HPE GreenLake for File is an excellent solution for your AI backend. So I wanted to talk a little bit today about the partnership of KIOXIA and HPE. We've been working together for 20 years, and we're working to change the paradigms of how we deploy storage into your environment. Storage can have a surprisingly large impact on how well your infrastructure performs, both in new applications as well as legacy. We have been partners with HPE for 20 years, providing SSDs into many different solutions. And one of those that we're very excited about is GreenLake for File. So a little background on KIOXIA. KIOXIA is the inventor of NAND flash memory. We invented it in 1987, and we've been a leading producer of NAND flash. We actually produce around 30% of the world's flash. We produce all of our SoC and firmware in-house, and then we label that and we sell that to HPE as part of the GreenLake for File solutions, as well as other Reliant and GreenLake for object and block as well. So KIOXIA is based in Japan. We were originally part of Toshiba, and then we were spun off in 2018 and have been an independent supplier of SSDs ever since that time. We have our fabrication plants in Japan at Yokkaichi and at Kitakami. We have fabs Y1 through Y7 in Yokkaichi, as well as fab K1 and K2 at Kitakami. So on the AI front, we're seeing massive investment in AI, and we're projecting that the AI market will reach $22 trillion by 2030. Currently, we're seeing it expand rapidly, and the generative AI portion has been a very small portion of the TAM initially, but that's continuing to grow. We're seeing that reach 40 to 50%. Generative AI is going to generate new content. So you need somewhere to store that content. You need data to train your AI. All of that has to live on storage. So Derek mentioned earlier, many up to 60 to 80% of AI deployments today fail. So there are a lot of challenges around deploying AI in your infrastructure. There's extremely large data sets, memory bandwidth bottlenecks. Your LLMs can hallucinate, fabricate information. So that a lot of that relies on storage to provide the right information for your AI models. There's extremely large data sets required to train these models. So that requires both high capacity as well as high throughput. To load that data into your GPUs, you have these extremely large data sets that need to be moved in and out of GPUs to do this training, as well as to do maybe retrieval augmented generation or other steps in the process. And your inference steps require low latency to have fast response time. If you have to wait significant amounts of time for your AI to respond, that can also cause deployments with your AI success. So there's several different solutions that we are working on with HPE, and the GreenLake for File is a big portion of this. One thing that we're promoting is vector databases for retrieval augmented generation. We are working on our own algorithms for ANN, but we're currently implementing disk ANN, and it's functional with our SSDs as well as GPU direct storage. As Derek noted, it is compliant with the NVIDIA DGX base pod, which allows you to access through GPU direct storage and read directly into the GPU, bypassing that CPU and DRAM stack and allowing the GPU to access the data directly, whether that's through a RAG solution or through for training. So these evolving workloads require hardware adaptation. So we need to evolve the hardware to meet these needs. These extremely large data sets require an architecture designed to scale out, but you also need extreme performance. If you want to invest in GPUs and in AI, you need to access that data extremely quickly to allow for training, whether that's fine-tuning of a model, using an existing off-the-shelf model and fine-tuning it, or doing a RAG solution. And all those things can live on this GreenLake for file storage. So the hardware underneath this is based on the HPE Alletra MP and the KIOXIA CM7 SSDs. This uses our NVMe small form factor 2.5-inch drives up to 15 terabytes. It can be block, file, or object on the Alletra MP. Today we're focusing really around that file store, which can be used as a backend for many different solutions, not just AI. This is not just AI. However, it is a solution with high throughput that can enable these AI deployments to be successful. So this is our KIOXIA CM7 Enterprise NVMe drive. This goes up to 15 terabytes and up to 14 gigabytes a second of read per SSD and 7 gigabytes a second of write. So it's an extremely fast drive. One thing I want to call out here is our FIPS 140-3 encryption. It has options with the Alletra MP for SED or FIPS. So if you have a government use case that requires that FIPS encryption, those options are available on the Alletra MP as well as through GreenLake for File. And the KIOXIA SSDs have that certification to allow you to have that high encryption level on the drive itself. So these SSDs enable high-performance GreenLake for File solutions. The Alletra MP can have different categories. It can be file or object. And we've found that a lot of people prefer file for AI deployments because there's massive amounts of files that you want to load in and train your AI model on to make it pertinent to your business. Not just an AI that's general purpose, but something that's really dedicated and can provide value for your business. So there's some additional partnership that we have with HPE. We have recently sent up our Spaceborne 2.5 computer. We initially launched Spaceborne 1 in 2017, and that flew for almost 2 years. And we conducted a lot of different experiments in space to enable off-the-shelf computing in a space environment. It's a very challenging environment, and we have had some issues in space. And our initial deployment, we had several of the drives that had some issues. We no longer use the type of capacitors that had problems in space. So we have recently launched in January, we launched Spaceborne 2.5, and that is currently on the International Space Station today. And my team gets the logs back from this to monitor all the solutions, make sure the SSDs are working great. Here you can see it installed in the Spaceborne. It's actually in the Columbus module in the ceiling up top. It's hard to tell exactly where it is. You can see here it's in the background on the ceiling within that module. So we are doing a lot of different experiments in space today. As you can see, here's the hardware that we have on here. It's our KIOXIA XG drives, as well as our RM and PM SAS SSDs. We chose the RM specifically for most of the workload due to the low power. It's a maximum of 9 watts. In space, power is an extremely concerning problem. There's a very limited amount of power. So we run our RM6 drives to make sure that we stay within the power envelope specified by NASA. So what are we doing with this? Well, we're actually doing AI in space. So here is showing a model that we use to analyze astronaut gloves. And we check for wear. Every time they have a spacewalk, they go out, they have to check the gloves for wear. They used to have to take pictures and send it down to Earth. So we're using an AI model that's loaded in space using HPE's Edgeline series, as well as the DL360 and KIOXIA SSDs to do AI at the extreme edge on the International Space Station. We're also doing DNA sequencing, which uses extremely large amounts of data that's stored and processed by a GPU in space. We used to do we could do one astronaut per month. Since we have sent up Spaceborne 2.5, we have now been able to do every astronaut every day. So we have gone from months to minutes as we have advanced this workload in space. Ooh, I skipped one. We've done many different experiments in space using HPE hardware and KIOXIA SSDs, including life science, image processing, feature extraction, and we upload Docker containers to run new experiments on the International Space Station. So we have been partnered for a long time, and we are continuing our advancement of AI even in space. And to do that, you need very large amounts of data, and you have to store that data. And GreenLake for File and KIOXIA SSDs are a great way to do that. So here's a high-level look at some of our product offerings through HPE. We have our CM7, which is part of the Alletra series, in the Alletra MP. We also have our PM and our RM series drives for SAS, if you have any needs in the ProLiant space. For high performance NVMe, we also have our data center class SSDs. Our CD8 is our 2.5-inch offering, and our CD8P is our E3S. We're very excited about this new form factor. It's extremely fast with E3S, and that's something that's going to be a big part of deployments going forward for AI in the future that needs extremely high throughput. So we're shipping across all major HPE storage platforms, including the Alletra MP and the GreenLake for File. And that is actually our CM series enterprise high performance NVMe SSD that we're shipping today. That's what enables these solutions to be successful, having that high throughput and high performance, and combining the entire stack, not just the hardware, but the software on the front for the management pieces, the analytics for data placement using GreenLake for File, and truly optimizing your storage to meet your AI and business needs. Thank you. Any questions?
I think we're officially on the coolest webinar of 2024 because you're doing AI in space. Man, I'm going to be bragging about this all day. Let me just pull Derek in here as well. And again, thank you to you both. Really great presentation so far. We definitely do have a number of questions that have popped up. So we are going to get to those in just a quick second. But I do want to throw up a poll for all of you out there in the audience whilst we ask some questions and pick the brains of these two incredible gentlemen here. So the poll states, what additional information would you like about the HPE and KIOXIA solution? And it can be data sheets, white papers, case studies, pricing, demos, you name it. This is kind of your wish list, your easy button. And we'll leave that up for a little bit. And again, keep those questions coming in. Hopefully we can address as many as possible in the next little bit here. And with that, gentlemen, are you ready to take some of these?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so first question here is, what types of workloads benefit the most from Hewlett Packard Enterprise GreenLake for File, and how does it ensure performance scalability as data demands grow?
You want to take it, or do you want me to take it, Tyler?
Go ahead.
I mean, the great thing about it is you have a number of workloads. Video surveillance for one, right? You need a lot. You need performance. You need capacity, and you need to have the capability to analyze that data almost in real time. So that is a great use case for that. And I also said earlier, another great use case would be financial data, right? I remember years ago I went to grad school and I had a professor that had this. Maybe he was before his time, but he would give us access to like all of the financial data out there, and we had to figure out, hey, how can we predict anything? We had no clue what we were doing, and we didn't have the analytics that we have today to really make some predictive analysis around that. So, those are two great use cases. And then, small things like pulling things out from the edge, sensors on your bike. I used to be an avid biker. I'm trying to get back into it. And, I've got sensors on my bike that tells me my cadence, that tells me, if I'm leaning too far or things like that. So, there's tons of use cases out there that you can utilize, the solution for. Hopefully I answered the question there.
No, I think that's great. And again, if at any point either of you want to jump in and add to a question, feel free as well. But if that's not the case, I'm going to pitch the next one. The next one here is, what makes HP GreenLake's approach to file storage stand out in hybrid IT environments?
And a lot of that is the scalability. It scales to an extremely large data footprint. It also has high throughput. Many of the storage solutions today that you see, especially for extreme capacity, either are extremely complex and hard to manage, or they don't scale and perform as well. So the amount of throughput that you can get off of a GreenLake for File solution makes it a very, very powerful solution to use for these type of workloads. As your data scales to extremely large footprints, being able to access that data quickly is very, very important to make sure you get the data analytics and all the information you need from that data.
All right, I like that. I've got a few questions here from the audience that are coming through around some of the kind of like specifications and usability. So one here is from Jeffrey. He's asking, can GPU be shared over LAN?
Generally, you can access GPUs remotely. However, the real power is allowing the GPU to access data for model training. That's one thing that we've been really focused on, is getting higher throughput to the GPU to allow the training to be high performance. However, you can do remote access, and there are VDI solutions out there today that allow you to remote in and use a GPU over a network. So you can, depending on how you slice your GPUs, different workloads like that, you can remotely access and work with GPU-based type of AI, ML applications. However, the focus really is on getting the data into that GPU to allow the GPU to do something with it, to advance that training, improve your performance, or make that, answer a query from an AI or into an AI platform.
Nice. Thank you for that. Derek, anything to add, or you're satisfied with this?
I'm definitely satisfied with that one, yeah.
Excellent. Okay, another question. This one here is coming in from Chris. He's asking, is there an OPEX solution versus CAPEX?
Absolutely. That is really what our GreenLake is, right? We do have an OPEX solution for customers as well as a CAPEX. So you definitely can utilize, that model of purchasing or acquiring your solution.
Nice. Excellent. Okay, next question. This one's coming in from Paul. He's saying, what's the best strategy to future-proof infrastructure for implementation of, I think this is meant to say Gen AI, which requires more computation capability because it involves more complex decision-making, autonomy, and interaction with data?
I did not plant that question. So, it really is GreenLake for File, right? A disaggregate environment. So as I said earlier, if you need additional compute resources to manage your data, you can scale that compute, those stateless compute nodes, scale those out without scaling out the capacity area. But however, if you need additional capacity, you can certainly scale that out. So you can scale those out independently to address the needs, for that Gen AI. Absolutely.
Okay.
And the beauty of the solution is it can be both. It's hybrid cloud, so it can be on-prem, and if you need additional capacity, you can scale that into HPE GreenLake Cloud.
Right. Which also answers another question that I saw out there. I saw something, can we put it out there in the cloud? Yeah, and that answer is yes.
Nice. Beautiful. Okay, this is exciting stuff. I'm feeling amped up over here. Thank you. Okay, another question I've got is what tools or dashboards are provided for monitoring usage, performance, and capacity within HPE GreenLake for File?
Well, if you remember that slide back, I have what we call it DSCC, which is our data storage management monitoring platform. So that gives you the capability, and not just for GreenLake for File, but also our block environments, right, to deploy those data, deploy, manage, monitor those data services, as well as back up that environment as well. So you can do that all from our dashboard.
Beautiful. Okay, what else we got in the queue? One here is HPE GreenLake available as a service in Azure or AWS?
Yeah, I think we answered that with yes.
Oh, we did. Okay. Apologies for repetition.
Oh, no.
Next one here, how does HPE GreenLake handle data lifecycle management, such as data ingestion, storage, processing, archiving for AI ML applications?
You want to take that, Tyler? Or you want me to take a stab at it?
From a platform standpoint, I think you know it much better than I do. So.
Basically, that's going to go through your applications, right? All of the ETL stuff, that's going to be based upon tools that you utilize, and you just kind of, we have APIs and such that you can map and marry to those tools, and you can just utilize those in conjunction with the, whatever tool of choice that you desire to utilize.
All right, that works. Easy peasy. You guys are making complex things simple. It's great.
I'm a simple guy.
That's the whole idea, though. Here, instead of having to manage the hardware, you manage it at a higher level. You can have a cloud-based management platform that can let you manage your data on-prem for certain applications, and then if you need more capacity or more performance, you can scale that into the cloud, and you can use those monitoring tools to determine how much data you're storing, where you need to place it, you monitor and manage your backups and archives. All of those processes can be handled through the GreenLake Management Cloud.
Yeah, I do want to add to that. One of the things we're trying to avoid is point solutions, and I mentioned that earlier, right? So we want to give you the capability of utilizing the best of breed, or whatever that may be. And also at any point in time, because we know, most of us in this industry are fickle, and we may want to change what we consider best of breed at certain times, right? So we want to give you the capability to utilize those best of breed tools. We do provide some HP tools, but you don't necessarily have to use all of those as well. So, we're really looking at giving you that cloud-like experience and open cloud experience.
Very nice. And you had touched on, Tyler, about scalability. We did have a question in the queue kind of asking, how can an organization ensure that their infrastructure is indeed scalable while still being secure, efficient? I think that's what you guys have really been discussing this whole time. But I guess if someone's not sure, or if they're still in this phase of, hey, we need to make some changes, we need to make sure we're actually evolving with the digital landscape, what would you suggest in terms of how they can go about that?
That can be a significant challenge, especially as you implement new solutions like AI, to make sure that you scale. That's where hybrid cloud can be very beneficial. So a lot of it, I've over the years planned through, okay, what's my year-over-year growth? What's my data growth? And you try to monitor and figure out what you need for the next 2, 3, 4 years. But the ability to scale into a hybrid cloud if you need extra capacity or extra performance, and then maybe determine how much that growth, if you have some new application that uses an extreme amount of data, you can pivot extremely quickly into a hybrid cloud solution. And then if you need to order additional hardware and you want to move that back on-prem, that's an option. That's really one of the power here with these GreenLake for File solutions.
Very nice. I think what I've loved about all the Hewlett Packard Enterprise webinars I've been blessed to be on this year is it's really cool to see something that was kind of seen as, hey, we're going on cloud and what's old is being on-prem, but really seeing how it's evolved to be this like beautiful hybrid, scalable, flexible solution. So really, really great. Thank you guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
There are still many infrastructures and many companies that want to keep their data on-prem, and that's part of the beauty of this solution is you can leverage these monitoring tools or different things and your management platforms in a cloud solution and still have your hardware and your data on-prem to manage your solutions in-house. So it just gives you a management platform you can access that can help you enable these type of solutions, even if you are planning to deploy purely on-prem.
Very cool. Okay, I think maybe one final question. This one's asking a little bit about budgeting. This is saying, how does HPE GreenLake's pay-per-use model impact budgeting and financial planning for AI infrastructure and other IT operations?
Well, you have a pay-as-you-grow. We have a pay-as-you-grow model. So as you're looking to deploy and you're not quite sure what your capacity is going to be, right? You can certainly start small. And again, it's the cloud model. So but I also say that unlike the cloud model, right? You're stuck almost once you put it out there. You're not stuck here, right? So it's on-prem. You can manage that. As I need to grow, I reach out to our GreenLake team, and they can help you grow that capacity. Also, I would say that managing that life cycle of not only the capacity of the compute, but also the operating environment of the operating system, patches, things of that nature, all goes into that financial model that you have to put together, right? How many people do you need to manage it and things of that nature? So we do have tools, we do have modeling tools to help you with that, to help you grow and help you deploy it. And also you can feed those financial models back into, to your finance department and make the best decision for you.
Amazing. Well, I think we are pushing up against time, so let's maybe wrap this up here. But that said, I always like to give you guys kind of a final moment. So if someone's very excited about this, they want to maybe learn more, take some first steps, get started, where should they go? What can they do? And then also, is there any sort of like nugget of wisdom or anything that you just want to leave with the audience that's kind of poignant and on your mind at this point in time?
Nugget of wisdom. I'll leave that to Tyler. He's way more wise than me. But I will say this. I would say that if you're looking for demos, as I said earlier, we do have white papers, use case, customer references. The links that we've provided give you a lot of access around that. Reach out to your local HPE rep. They will be happy to discuss with you. And again, we have a whole YouTube page or channel dedicated to it. Go to our hpe.com. And I think that's about it. But wisdom, I'll leave that up to ChatGPT right now.
Yeah, the oracle of all.
That's where I go for my wisdom these days.
From my standpoint, KIOXIA, we're very happy to be a longstanding partner with HPE. There's some innovative solutions out there, and we're trying to create storage-based solutions that can really enable the next generation of AI and next generation of workloads. And many people don't realize how storage impacts everything you do. So even on your server, you think you're running maximum performance, you check your management, and it's like, oh, I have some IO wait. I'm waiting for a response from storage. So this new HPE GreenLake for File solutions can really provide a lot of value in accelerating your entire infrastructure and allowing faster access to those files and improving performance across the board to let you get the most out of your infrastructure. And KIOXIA SSDs we're happy to provide the back end and the actual storage media to make your data persistent and fast.
Awesome. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure to be able to pose these questions to you both, to pick your brains, and again, great presentations. I'm still floored. I really enjoyed this. So thank you so much for being here, and I look forward to the next time we'll get to hear from you both, and if not this year, in the new year as things advance and go forward.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Cheers. Beautiful. Well, again, big thanks to both of our presenters. Sincerely enjoyed that, and I'm sure you did as well in the audience. Everyone out there, I hope you had as much fun and learned as much as I did. And I do want to remind you, we did bring up those handouts there in the handouts section, the technical white paper, the data sheet, as well as a couple video demos there linked in there. So you definitely want to check those out before we wrap things up today. And before we do wrap up, we have one last little bit of fun, which is our prize giveaway. So if you have been waiting and you are holding your breath with excitement and hope, well, you don't have to wait too much longer. Again, a quick reminder, you must be present and live here on the webinar to win. But other than that, without further ado, the winner of this $250 Amazon gift card is going out to Matt 6 from Oklahoma. So congratulations, Matt. As always, we will be in touch about claiming your prize after the webinar. And with that, don't forget that you may also be the lucky winner of the $50 Best Question gift card if you indeed did pose a question. So thank you to all of the inquisitive folk out there who did that. But otherwise, we'll be reaching out also about how you can claim that prize. And so a final thank you on behalf of the Actual Tech Media team to Hewlett Packard Enterprise and KIOXIA for making this webinar possible. And a special huge thank you to both of our speakers, Tyler and Derek, for giving us so much to think about today. And of course, a big thank you to all of you in the audience, because without you, there would be no webinar. So thank you for taking the time to think ahead, strategize, do some digging, educate yourselves. I know it's not always easy on top of the workload that we've got to pull our heads up and think a little bit into the future. So again, thanks for taking some time in your day in order to explore modern infrastructure to execute your data first vision. And once again, I hope you have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day. Until next time, have a great day and have a great rest of the year. Take care, everybody.